सो हेलो एवरीवन। आप लोगों ने काफ़ी लोगों ने सुना होगा हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री के बारे में। मैनी ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव heard about it, many of you must read about it, but you don't know what actually is, right? So today we have with us CA Manish Gupta sir, जो इस इंडस्ट्री में have been working more than I would say 15 years, and he has a hell lot of experience in this domain. So he's a CFO at Myanmar Hotel Management Company, and today we'll ask him to share his views regarding कि किस तरीके से ये इंडस्ट्री काम करती है, what is the scope all around, and what is the future of this, and why every CS should also think of joining the hospitality industry. So first of all, I would like to welcome Manish sir to join our channel, to join us for sharing his views.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you, Shivam, for inviting me.
So, sir, we want to know your journey. We want to know ki how do you end up into a hospitality industry, and just a short brief about you. Ki how did you start it?
Yeah. Well, after passing my qualification, after becoming qualified as a CA, I started to do the assignments with the audit firm just to gain some experience. And during those assignments, I did a couple of fraud investigation assignments, some fixed asset counting assignment, which I think every CA, while during their articleship, has to do. It's a must assignment for fixed asset counting. So I did that for a couple of hotels in Indonesia. So that was my first international experience. I ended up in a five-star hotel doing these assignments, and I was fascinated by the glamorous life of hoteliers. When you go into the lobby, it's a grand lobby. You know, you have a lot of restaurants. You eat, and we were lucky. We were not eating in the staff canteen. We were eating in the restaurants. So when we were eating in the restaurant, the food was so nice, and there was a lot of people around, foreigners. So we were really fascinated about the hotel industry. And then we get into the base, into the back of house, and we see the hotels are treating their employees very well. They have very good food. They have good life, uniforms. So I was very excited and say, wow, this is very nice place to work. You know, you get the food, you get to go into the life of others, you go to see many people around you, still you work. And it's a hard work. In the hotel that I was working was about 800 rooms. So there was a lot of work to be done in hospitality, but it was good. And they had fun, team building, they go for outing every month. So I was really interested. And once I finished I finished 3 years of stint in the company, in the articleship. So I got an offer from the same hotel company to join them as an accounting manager. Since I have worked with the same group, I joined them as accounting manager to be trained as a director of finance. So it was like a journey path. So they had a training program. And after spending about 3 4 years in making, I was able to get the promoted to be a director of finance in one of the hotel. And that was quite an experience in my life. So I learned people management skills. I learned public speaking. I learned other soft skills which you normally don't learn when you are working in the back of house. I know in hospitality we call front house and back house. Front house where you are meeting with the guest, and back house where you are just working in the hotel in the office in a 4 by 4 cubicle. So while I was working in hospitality, I was not only working in the 4 by 4 cubicle, I had to go outside, be on stage, check the rooms, meet with the guests. So it was quite experience, right? Rather than just only doing an accounting and every month we close the profit and loss statement. We got to meet the peoples. We see the peoples. We are doing the service. So and that created a service culture in my blood as well. So everywhere I go, I see from hospitality perspective why we are not really. And even I was so bad in, I was so immersed in that. If I go to a restaurant, I don't get a spoon. I don't ask the waiter. I go and take from the side station by myself. And my wife saying, "Why you are doing that?" I said, "Oh, I'm sitting in my own hotel." So, but that was quite a nice journey to be associated with, and it was a learning experience. Hospitality, if you work in a trading industry, you're just doing only trading, right? If you are manufacturing, you are just handling the manufacturing. But in hospitality, you get to know from service to trading to manufacturing from hotels, and it's all live. There's no like a production and then you are selling. It's on the instant. You are selling now, you are producing now, and you are doing the service now itself. So there's no shelf life in hospitality. So you have to always be vigilant. You always has to be on the top of everything. So that's quite a nice experience to work in a hospitality life. And after you do the hospitality, you learn so many skills that you can apply in any life, any domain, whether it's banking, insurance, healthcare, IT industry where you have to be on the service. So you learn quite a lot of skills while working in hospitality. So that was my experience. And after I became a director of finance for a couple of years, I joined this company where I am working now as a CFO for about 15 hotels. So the growth in hospitality is quite fast also because hospitality employers are focusing on training and development of their people more than what other industries normally push, especially in some of the traditional industries where they need finance people just to do the accounting. In hospitality is different.
Right, right. So, sir, we just wanted to know ki what is different in this industry if I compare with some manufacturing or a service industry. Because what happens is,
Mhm.
if when I talk to a freshly qualified chartered accountants or when I talk to many of the CAs, right? तो I usually see that कि they talk about कि यार मुझे कोई service sector में जाना है या मुझे finance domain में जाना है. No one talks about कि I want to explore a hospitality industry. So, what is a different
Mm.
thing about this hospitality industry if I compare with the other industry?
Normally, I think the people are not talking about hospitality industry because they think okay, hospitality industry is only for hotel management professionals. You have to go to a hotel school to become a hospitality employee, but that is actually not true. In not about I'm not 100% sure in India what is the ratio, but overseas there are 80% of the people who never see a hotel management school. They are working in operations, they are working in finance, they are working in general things. They learn on the scale, on the job, right? So hospitality is different because the other industries you are always behind the scene. The finance, especially the finance, is always behind the scenes.
Hmm.
They are never facing the guest. They are never talking to the guest. They are not doing the pricing. They are not involved in the general management, right? Unless you are really a top class CFO or in a higher positions. But in hospitality, you're always on the scene. You're always involved in decisions. So hospitality is different in a way because it's a service industry, right? So the service industry, the service culture is not only in the people who are serving the guest, but also those who are not serving the guest. So hospitality industry treats everybody as the same, whether you work with the guest or you don't work with the guest. You have to follow a certain service culture. You have to have embrace empathy, like understanding each other, right? If without that, you will not be able to be successful in the hospitality industry. The communication skills, not the English speaking skills, but the communication, how you explain, how you communicate, how well you are dealing with your team members, because it's all based on emotions, human connections, right? So hospitality industry is different in the sense that it's live with the humans, for human, by humans, not the other traditional industry where you are sitting in your office and say, okay, I did my job, did my 10 accounting entries, did my reconciliations, and then done. My job is finished. I don't know what the sales is doing. I don't know what the call center is doing. I have no idea about them. But in hospitality is different. So that's the key
Right.
difference. That leads to different skill set required to be successful in hospitality industry as well.
Right, right. So as I can see that ki there is a lot of learnings in this domain or industry. So sir, what is the parameter or a criteria which someone is required or bare minimum quality that someone should have when he or she is thinking that I want to go into hospitality industry, or what all skills do you look into a person when someone is entering hospitality industry?
Well, might have heard on reading the books usually that hospitality industry hires for attitude. They don't hire for skills because skills can be taught. So the attitude and the passion and the talent you should have is understanding, empathy, adaptability. You should be able to change yourself. You should be able to learn new things. You should be able to value the human connection between peoples, between the guests, between the employees. Even in hospitality, we say that even the in the cleaner in a hotel room is as valuable as the GM, even more valuable, because why the if the cleaner is not cleaning the room properly, it's showing to the guest. Even if we don't have a good GM, he is not dealing with the guest on a day-to-day basis, right? So cleaner is more important than a GM. So you need to be passionate towards service culture. So you have to be helpful, right? The other skills which you think which you can develop and you will develop while working in hospitality is very clearly the communication skills, very clearly the learning abilities, because you have to learn every time. Attention to details, because hospitality is a detail oriented. I'm not talking about the bed and breakfast hotels where you don't really have to worry about too much of details, but still there the guest has some minimum expectation, right? So attention to details is very important in any good standard hotel. You have to anticipate the needs of the customers. You have to think from customers perspective. So it's a whole different ball game when you compare the hospitality industry skills that are required to be successful in this industry. So finance skills definitely is the must. You have to be good in finance for sure. But there are other things which are also equally important when it comes to hospitality, right? So it's not only about the that you have to be expert in IFRS or you have to be expert in INDAS or accounting standards. You have to be expert in human, in empathy, in understanding, in anticipation. So those are the more important skills that hospitality needs.
Right, right. So, sir, those who are looking this video, those who are watching this video, I can say that there is a growth is very good in this domain. Learning is also
Hmm.
very good, and it's like you can easily switch from this industry, because in this industry you learn a lot in across inventory management, right from room management to inventory management. So, sir, again, one more question comes is ki why should CA join a hospitality industry? Because what happens is ki I have seen folks all around. I have seen people all around, those who have been fighting for getting into the big corporates or big companies. All right. So, what should be a
Hmm.
motivating factor for the CAs, those who want to get into this domain or industry? And second, what will be the work the chartered accountant will be doing once he or she joins this industry?
Well, the motivation, if you say there are quite a few of motivation. One, if the person is really interested in traveling, then they should join maybe a chain of hotels, like because you will get to travel different peoples. If you love food, definitely you should join the hospitality industry because you get to eat a lot of food, all type of food in the canteens, right? Not don't worry about the benefit that the hotel is giving for you to eat in restaurants. In the canteen also, staff canteen also, they are cooking almost the same food because they want the staff to taste what they are cooking in the guest areas so that the staff can explain, oh, this food is good because I have tasted myself,
Right.
right? And then you have a selling skills, you learn selling skills. So as we were saying that there are quite a few of skills that you learn in hospitality industry which makes you quite disciplined, quite anticipative. So that sets you ground in success in other industries as well. I'm not saying that hospitality industry is the only industry where you should go and learn and go to grow in other industries, but it serves you a very strong background if you want to be in successful in other industries as well. So, if you want to be developed, if you want to develop your soft skills, hospitality industry is something for you. It offers you a good career opportunity as well, right? For example, as a CA, if you join the hospitality industry, even as a chief accountant or as a assistant chief accountant or accounting manager, you may join that. You learn how hospitality works, how the cost accounting works. You learn how the internal controls work in live environment where you are dealing with a lot of cash, right? There are always good, very strong controls. There are always good communication skills. So you learn those things in end of course there is a career growth opportunities like You work for one hotel, smaller hotel, then you work for a bigger hotel, then you work for a chain of hotels or group of hotels, and then maybe you manage the entire portfolio of the company. So, and hospitality is something which is never going to die because it serves the basic human needs, right? What human need is the traveling, connecting with each other, adventure, food, and hospitality industry is serving that. So it's not only the hotels, it's
Hmm.
also the restaurants, it's also the airlines, it's also the other industries which are associated with the hospitality industry. So if you want to tomorrow you work in a food tech startup, let's say a delivery startup, if you are from hospitality industry background, you will easily understand what's happening, not only the hospitality industry itself, but other technical parts. So it makes your brain to connect the dots easily. And because hospitality industry work in very sync manner, every any even a 1 minute delay by in the check-in or in a cleaning of the room can create a nuance in the guest room, right? If one person makes a mistake in preparing the food, the entire guest sequence is gone wrong. So it works in a very coordinated manner. So you learn that project management as well, people's management, because there are many different type of peoples working in the same group for different on different works, but in the same goal. That same goal is the service of the guest. So you learn these skills in hospitality industry, which you can apply in any other industry.
Right, right. So, from viewers, a lot of people have connected with us. So, those who have your doubts, you can start posting your doubts on a chat box so that we can cover it out. And meanwhile, I'll also cover the questions which are asked on YouTube chat as well. Right. So, someone is asking, sir, CA do interact with a guest in hospitality?
Yes, they do interact with the guest because in hospitality, usually there is a rule that every manager has to be on the floor once in a week or once in a month, depending on how big is the hotel and how they are doing the duty roster. So minimum, as a minimum, you will be like a lobby ambassador. So you have to stand in the lobby, you have to help the guest. It may not happen in a very small hotels where GM is doing everything, but in a large hotels, normally there is you have to serve. Even when I started to work in hospitality industry, I had no experience. I was not able to speak to people who are stranger to me. I can speak to the people who I know very well, but not to the people who are stranger. I'm still struggling with that. But now I have developed some skills where I can speak to the guest in to some extent. So when I started, I was very nervous. So I just used to stand like a pillar in the in the lobby and say, I just smile at the peoples. And whenever my GM pass by, I say, oh, "Why are you standing here? Why don't you walk around?" So whenever I see him, I just move to another another location. You know,
Right.
but slowly, he teach me, okay, how to speak to the guest, how to approach the guest, and how to understand what maybe they needed. So I he said, talk to one person only. Don't try to talk to everybody. Just talk to one person. If you talk to one person, you can go back.
Right.
That sometimes take me like half an hour standing in the lobby to find that one person where I want to talk.
Right, true. So it's a completely new and different experience in those who want to travel, those who are having an interest in food. So you are definitely should look into. So Abhinav is asking how we can enter into hospitality industry as chartered accountant, in which domain initially we should do a specialization course. So, sir, can you also brief us regarding the courses or the classes which you conduct, and how someone can get into this domain?
Yeah. So I conduct the classes in hotel management. I have my website is hotelmanagementschool.com, where I teach the courses on hospitality finance. What is the structure of hospitality finance? How you work in the how they work with each other? What are the key characteristics of different departments? How they work? And I'm gonna conduct one live class also starting from June, where you can learn how to become a chief accountant in hotel industry, right? So normally in a smaller industry, in the smaller hotels, you can become a chief accountant directly, right? But in a larger hotel, you may not be able to become a chief accountant, because chief accountant is a very high position for large hotels, and it requires you to have a very good understanding of hotel financial system. So this course is directed towards that, to help you gain that understanding before you jump into the hospitality industry, and you can identify this industry is for me or not, right? So and also you will be able to gain the skills that you will need in to be successful in the hotel finance. So normally in a large hotel, you work as a supervisor, maybe in a accounts payable section, in a collection department, or in a general accounting, and then you learn how the hospitality working, and then you learn all the skills one by one, month by month. You become a supervisor, and then you become assistant manager, and then a manager. So there's a bit of work that you have to cover. So usually you need to learn by experience. So my objective with this course is to give you that experience beforehand, before you go into join, and so that it gives you a confidence, how you know that you know now the hotel industry very well.
Right. So those who are willing to get into hospitality, या जिन्हें नहीं पता hospitality industry किस तरीके से काम करती है, या you need a deep understanding, तो sir is planning to launch one course in the month of June. So you
Hmm.
can join that course as well, where you'll be getting a detailed, in-depth knowledge of how the industry is working and how you are supposed to scale up or how you're supposed to grow. And this course will be an end-to-end course, and trust me, काफी आपको beneficial होगा once you join this course as well. तो I have shared the link on the chat box. आपको link चाहिए तो आप वहां से भी आप ले सकते हो. Dinesh is asking, sir, whether a salary package is more as or equivalent to a big four or a corporate. So how do we compare in monetary perspective?
Yeah, it depends on which hotel you are working. My salary package, I cannot tell you how much is my salary package, but definitely it's about two times then, or three times than I would get if I'm working in India, in a hotel or in a corporate or in a big four, even a big four. But it may be also because I'm working overseas as an expatriate. But even in India, nowadays, a general hotel financial controller usually gets about 24 to 28 lakhs a year. Usually, that's usually a salary for not so experienced financial controller. But it's just I mean, it's a for 4-star to 5-star hotel.
Mhm.
So that's usually a salary level for salary scale for hotel financial controllers. But as you grow, if you have, let's say, more than 10 hotels in your portfolio, you can expect to have more as a salary. But salary is not the only consideration here. Dinesh, is more on the your motivation, your other factors that you get to use. I tell you, in very interestingly, I worked in Shangri-La. So they gave you a free room for 3 nights. So I spent 6 nights in Hong Kong with my family, and the average room rate for Shangri-La in Hong Kong is about 20,000 a day. So that was 120,000 in 6 days. You know that if I have to stay in that hotel, I have to spend 120,000, but I didn't spend anything. Even the food was complimentary. So that is the benefit as well. But it depends on the hotel, Jen. I wouldn't say that every hotel is saying that giving that benefit.
Right. राइट तो नॉन मॉनेटरी पर्क्स काफी ज्यादा है इफ यू आर प्लानिंग टू गेट इनटू बिकॉज but yes, definitely you'll enjoy this. So someone is asking, how do you manage your finance or budget during this COVID situation, because it's again a different and difficult task to predict and know कि कितने customers आएंगे and how many people are going into.
Mhm. Well, it's every industry is the same. We are not doing the budget for based on the the COVID, right? We normally assume this scenario to last for certain months, and then after that we assume there will be a recovery, either a spike or there will be a gradual recovery. So it depends on which location you are and what are the products that you are giving. So for example, business hotels may see a very steady recovery. Leisure hotels may not see that much because it depends on the extra money that the people have. So their savings are low, means the leisure travel will also be low, right? It depends on the hotel where you are, what rate you are charging. So there are many considerations. There are ways to budget. Um, I will not be. So that is the. I cannot give you a right short answer to how do we budget, but there are certain ways how we can budget for hospitality, even in during these uncertain times.
Right. So budgeting tricks or tips the organization definitely use, but अगर वो बताने जाएंगे तो फिर सेशन काफी बड़ा हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
So for that, if you are willing to learn it, you can definitely join the course, which is Sir is gonna be launching. Uma is asking, does hospitality industry or hotel industry hires a fresher CA or only experienced one? And do we need any specific certifications after certain years?
Well, hospitality industry does not necessarily only hire fresher CAs, but fresher CAs are joined at a lower level. The experienced CAs will find it a little bit difficult because the problem is experienced CA will expect some minimum money, right? And at a lower level, you will not be able to get that. And higher level, they normally hotels normally prefer somebody from hotels. So it's better to join earlier rather than late, unless you really want to sacrifice and want to really get into the hospitality.
Right. So a lot of questions are coming regarding the packages and the salary. So we earlier mentioned regarding what is the average range of the salary or package. So it's somewhere around. Can you just again?
It depends on the hotel, depends on the level at which you are going to join. But for a fresher, it can range. I would say maybe about 40 to 50,000 a month, 6 to 8 lakhs. And for a seasoned financial controller, once you grow, in a normal scenario, it can go as up to as 60 lakhs. But in a general financial controller with a decent experience in a decent hotel can get up to like 25 to 30 lakhs.
Right, right. So it depends on the area or industry which you are
Yeah, it
planning
depends
to go.
in the hotel where you are working, what is the star of the hotel. One-star hotel will never give you 24 lakhs because they may not even earn that much.
Right, right. True. Someone is Dinesh is asking, sir, are you doing risk management as there are as we study now? So about the risk management stuff in the hotels, how do you
Well,
manage it?
yeah, risk management basically is called internal audit. There are many ways where we manage the risk because there's foreign currency involved, then there are interest on loans involved, and then there are internal controls, the guest liabilities, the insurance. So there is a risk management. Yes, we do risk management in the hotels. So there are not really any specific positions for risk managers in hotels. Even in big hotels, they don't have risk managers. The financial controllers are managing it by themselves, or sometimes the corporates they may have, but not really on a financial risk, but other risks like security, insurance, or those kind of things.
राइट तो जो भी आप स्किल्स पढ़ रहे हैं आपके एग्जाम्स में या अभी सीए फाइनल के लिए जो रिस्क मैनेजमेंट इज डेफिनेटली गोना बी एडिंग अ लिवरेज टू योर कोर्स और स्टडीज सो
Yes, it
प्लीज
is.
प्लीज टेक इट वाइसली हाँ
The whatever subject you are studying at the moment, it will help you in one way or the other. In CA, there is no subject which is being taught which is not going to be useful in your life. Yes, it depends on at what level, at what stage of your career you will be using it. But definitely, it's nothing wasteful. So whatever you are studying, please study with your heart and not just for passing the exams, but to understand the subject because that is the quite a few of people who made mistakes I have been working with now, fresh CPAs in Thailand, in Myanmar, even in India. The problem I see is they want to pass the exams. They don't want to learn the subject. If unless you learn the subject, you're not going to be successful.
Right, right, true. So Ashish is asking, considering there is a lot of consolidations going in the hotel industry, like M&A, are CAs better off taking those opportunities as consultant rather than being part of a hotel group, and how this is going on?
Well, depends on the qualification. If you are already experienced in mergers and acquisitions, then you may help the hotels who are doing consolidation. But for those who are doing the consolidation, they already have their own investment bankers and lawyers to help them out. So they may not need CAs to consult them. To be a part of hotel industry is not about the money or the consulting. It's all about your own passion, basically. So if you are passionate about the other aspect, not just only the money, then hospitality industry is for you. But if you are just interested only in money only, then you may get bored in hospitality industry very fast because it's a very hard working job. I used to spend about 15 to 16 hours during my initial career in a day working every single day for about 3 years. But that was a huge hotel. It's about 800 rooms hotel. So normally there are no hotels like that. Usually the average size of the hotel is about 200 to 300 rooms. So my hotel was super big. Um, but yes, initially you may have to work very hard, and money is not going to be compensating that extra work that you are putting in. But in the longer run, it will be helpful.
Right, right. So, those who are planning to get into hospitality industry, you need to consider few things before you are joining it. But definitely, there are a lot of good things about this industry and lot of non-monetary perks which are hidden inside this industry, which you will come to know during this or during the journey when you join the industry, right? So, before we conclude, anyone has a question, you can just post it on, or what we can do is, sir, any concluding thoughts for our viewers or students or anyone those who want to get into this domain?
Yeah, there's only a few things that if you are really interested to learn the soft skills by working, you want to experience them. If you are interested in meeting with the peoples working in a human organization, then hospitality industry is for you. You can learn while you are working. The only thing is the learning will be a bit longer because you have to experience doing things. So you can take this course to learn while before you go into before you go. And even if you don't intend to join the hospitality industry, this course is going to be helpful because it's going to teach you quite a few things which are useful in other industries as well. Because nowadays the best practices come from cross industries. So even if you really don't want to work in hospitality industry, this course can really help you. Even in you want to work in a restaurant, you want to work in a bank, you want to work in a insurance company. So there are certain skills which can be useful in any business. Now the current at this point of time, the hotels are closed. There are a lot of people who are losing their job or they are not getting their job, but you don't have to worry about it because hospitality industry is very resilient. It can sustain any kind of pandemic or any kind of setbacks. Yes, it may take a bit of time to bounce back, but it will bounce back.
Right, true. So, those who are willing to get into this domain or industry, you should definitely go for this course because this course will guide you end to end journey के किस तरीके से आपको क्या करना है, how will
Mm.
do budgeting, forecasting, and you'll learn a lot of new skills, right? And if you are free, definitely you should go for it. Uh, Thank you. I think we covered almost all the questions which any student has or anyone has. Still, you have any questions? Please do post on a chat box so that we can cover it out. And I would really want to thank sir for joining us for the conversation. Those who have connected with us on a Zoom, please stay connected. We have a special gift for you as well. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot